Lift off. Here we are, boys and girls. We are back. Free China Pod. I've said Free China Post in the past 2 episodes. I realized that. You corrected me the first time, and I did not. Neither of us caught it the second time. Anyway, Free China Pod, episode 35, my friends. 35. We are moving right along here with our podcast. We'll be at 100 soon. It's gonna be good.
You know, we've been doing this almost a year. The pod, I mean. FreeChinaPost is well over a year old.
Yeah, man. It's been real.
Almost 18 months.
Yeah.
We're almost to the walking stage.
Moving around.
Maybe.
Got those
Maybe
big
terms.
scoops that we're afraid to
Talking,
publish.
Moving around.
Wink, wink.
Work on
Wink, nod, nod. Party corruption.
Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Kaohsiung City. Yeah.
Maybe more on that later. Yeah. Are you gonna? What's going on with that?
I think we shouldn't touch that until I have more corroborating information. Or until I hear something else.
Okay, that's fair. I feel that.
It could be catastrophic.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Catastrophic in what way?
Making accusations like that, if they get picked up, can have big consequences.
Could just result in an investigation, which is probably what should happen anyway, with the sorts of talk that's revolving around that.
If there is no basis, if they claim that there is no basis and they try to suppress the article, it's possible that you could face deportation charges or something like that.
I find that doubtful, but maybe, yeah, maybe. We're just trying to put the news out there, you know, bro. Taiwan's got a pretty free press. Probably one of the most free.
It's true, but I'm a foreigner. I don't know, man.
It's true. It's something to think about.
It is something to think about.
Well, maybe our listeners will get to learn about that at some point. We got scoops. We got the scoops.
There's a draft on the website with all the information I have. If you want to take a look at the unredacted report.
Oh yeah. I'm going to be careful though, because man, for like 2 days. Like yesterday, a little bit today, and the day before for like half the day. There was like, every time I searched something on Google, it would be like, there's like suspicious traffic coming from your IP address. And I was like, the fuck? That's weird. That's weird. But then I unplugged my router all day today and then replugged it back in. It hasn't been giving me that notification. So maybe it's just us sending stuff back and forth and me uploading stuff, and
That's just Google. Google's dumb sometimes, man.
it's true. But I was like, am I like is someone trying to like
Blacklisted.
DDoS attack me, or like if I get it would only be in China that we get blacklisted, and that would be fine. I think for right now we're not blacklisted in China. So if anyone
We're not. We're still getting traffic from Baidu.
If anyone's listening, welcome. Thanks for listening. We appreciate your listenership, and we hope to.
We do appreciate it.
We hope to foment the revolution in China. Power to the people.
It's I think it's the anniversary of Tiananmen soon.
Yeah, it was when is that? Not yet. Isn't it June 4th?
I don't know. I actually don't know the date.
I think the anniversary.
Wow, we're gonna have to do something.
It's
June 4th. That's my Taiwan anniversary.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow, what a coinky dink.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah.
That's the day I got to Taiwan.
Yeah, June 4th. It says the date is from, it ended on, the massacre is June 4th. Cuz it went from April 15th until June 4th of 1989. So there you go.
Interesting.
There you go.
Very interesting.
Yeah. So it's you guys gotta all of our listeners need to be knowledgeable about that. I feel like I didn't know that much about. I mean, I feel like probably most people that are our age or older probably know about it.
Let me send you a really good video about it I watched the other day.
All right.
It's an old BBC archive video that they reposted.
Did you hear that China banned like the camera that the video was shot on? They like banned that.
Like, no, this camera has never been in China before.
I don't remember what their reasoning was behind it, but like, yeah, it was like getting banned. There was like a bunch of people sharing Twitter stuff about it. It's just crazy. China's weird, man. It's a real weird place.
Not that right. I'm gonna send you the video, but yeah, let's not watch now. Anyway, what's going on?
I don't know. I was looking at a bunch of stuff today. Looking at the Venezuela stuff that's going on.
Watching J-Nads. Jerry Nadler. Jerry Big Nads Nadler.
Jerry Big Nads Nadler. Sounds like a wrestler name.
Yeah, exactly.
Jerry Big Nads Nadler and William Barf Boy Barr facing off today in the House Judiciary Committee wrestle up.
Do you think you think Barr's gonna get impeached?
Probably by the House.
Yeah, I guess the Senate wouldn't do anything, but he should be. He clearly violated the law.
The Senate shouldn't have confirmed him in the first place, man.
That's true.
He's been compromised since the beginning. Like, there's no way he should have ever been confirmed. The fucking pussies in the Senate. I don't know what to say, man.
Well, yeah, it's a joke. But I mean, it's also like, since the Republicans have a majority, they basically can do whatever they want because they destroyed the filibuster. Filibuster's dead, bro.
Is it? What do you mean?
Because they can use the. I mean, it's not obviously it's not like totally dead, but it's like de facto dead with the like.
What do you mean?
They can use the. Huh?
They can use what? What are you saying?
What is that called?
You talking about reconciliation?
Yeah, but that's not for the same stuff.
Reconciliation is to try and pass something through that lowers the budget. I don't know what you're talking about, man. Cloture?
Well, reaching cloture is like, that's different as well. Reaching cloture is like enough, like an agreement basically to come to a vote.
I don't see anything on the Wikipedia about it.
All right, ignore whatever I just said. I was more talking about. I think I was more thinking of in terms of bills. But anyway, I don't know. I'm kind of in favor of killing the filibuster anyway.
I'm not.
Quick take. You're not. Okay. Well, we can have this debate sometime. But anyway,
I think the minority party needs rights. I mean,
I guess, but it's like an obstructionist, non-democratic thing.
What's non-democratic is that there's a party that basically lost the fucking election but won the Senate and the presidency.
That's true, and
that's what's undemocratic.
That's why we should pass legislation that like mandates like some sort of like non-party affiliated or third party entity to like draft the like ungerrymander the districts because it's a joke.
It's not even the district rule. That's the rules of the fucking Senate that states who have no people still get 2 fucking senators. That's the Constitution.
Yeah,
man.
but
that's how we designed it.
I believe I've said before that we should get rid of the Senate, and you were not in favor of that. Would you be in?
No.
Would you be in favor of getting rid of the Senate?
No.
So, why? Because you're an originalist.
I wouldn't call myself an originalist, but I don't think it's going to solve any of the problems.
I think it would solve some problems. It would make it more democratic.
I think that the Senate is a good thing. I think that having a second body with longer terms and more seniority and a smaller group of people, it has a positive effect on improving the stability of Congress.
I could agree with you in some ways, but I would say if there was like a way... okay, so for instance, what if we did it not based on states, but based on... We broke it up into like maybe five regions. And those regions were bigger or smaller based on population density. And then each one would get 20 senators. Would you be in favor of a system like that?
Well, the idea is that even small states would get some representation. I would be in favor if they did like a party list, because I would be in favor of a party list because that improves the party representation. If they were to do a party list system, basically, and break it up into 5 regions, that's fine. But that they would all basically they would split the regions up so that they were approximately equivalent to begin with, and then like whatever. But they don't have to be perfectly equivalent. But they would. I don't think that regions with less populations should necessarily get less. Maybe that they should just be bundled in with areas that have more people.
Yeah, well, I think the issue that they would raise is they would say, well, our ideals are just different from these big city types. Like if you go to like where I grew up, a lot of people say, terms like city slicker and like these like big city people, they don't understand like us country folk. Like those are legitimate sentences that you will hear come out of people's mouths. Which I mean,
but that doesn't make a difference since people vote for senators for the state anyways. There's no difference between urban and rural voters in general, except for representatives. Yeah, but not for senators.
That's generally true. But I mean, you have states like North Dakota and Wyoming that essentially have no big. I mean, they have quote unquote big cities and capitals, but they're in terms of like a big city, a metropolitan area, they're quite small. So I think people would still.
Most of the people still live in those areas, though.
Yeah, maybe more, or maybe half. I mean, if you have a state like North Dakota, like I just don't think they have a big city. Like I mean,
Bismarck.
Yeah, that's not that big though.
Fargo.
Exactly. We all know what happens in Fargo. People get put into wood chippers, and it's not great.
And I guess that was your accomplice in the wood chipper.
Jordan, that's just a movie.
It's also a TV series starring Billy Bob Thornton. Thank you very much.
Who the hell is Billy Bob Thornton?
Don't act like you don't know who Billy Bob Thornton is.
Fried potatoes.
What the hell is television?
Alright, fair enough. But anyway, all that aside, I think, Barr should be impeached, but I don't think that he will. And
he probably won't.
That's a great disservice to America.
Man, that video, he's just he is just a slick little liar, basically. He is the most conniving fucking snake I've seen, like, on C-SPAN in a long time.
He's not even that conniving, though. That's the problem, is he's, like, quite literally on his face like an idiot that, like, doesn't really know
suggested.
how to, like,
I'm trying to understand what you mean by that word.
Yeah, what is the word? What's suggest? Yeah, I'm pondering the word suggested. It's like...
but I'm trying to grapple with the word suggest.
The same people come out to defend him that were people that were like, what is the meaning of, like, that we're getting all up in arms about Clinton? And it's a joke, man. It's a joke.
When you say the word ejaculate, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Did you mean verbal ejaculation? Did you mean physical? Did you mean mental? Was it a figure of speech?
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Yes. It's silly though, man. But yeah, he clearly is in over his head, and he's just stalling for time.
He's just a fucking lifetime scumbag lawyer. He's not in over his head, man. This is the time of his life. His career was going nowhere, and here's his fucking time to shine.
That's true, but I mean, he, like, is perjuring himself and looks stupid. He looks incredibly stupid.
Whatever, he'll die of a heart attack in, like, 2 weeks anyways. Did you see the sweat pouring out of his fucking eyeballs?
He was stammering a lot, too. Can you rephrase that? That was basically his, like,
Could
his
you,
response to Kamala Harris.
Clarify the word "you" for me?
I wouldn't.
Does anyone have an Oxford dictionary? I need to check some of these terms.
I may be a lawyer, but I've never seen this word before. Accuse.
So dumb.
Is that French?
It comes from the French term accuser, which means to repeatedly donkey punch someone.
Wow, Jordan. Your mother and father are going to look that up on Urban Dictionary when they hear this.
No one look that up on Urban Dictionary. Whoever listens to this, don't look it up. Don't look that up. It just means to punch someone. That's all it means. In the back of the head. That's all it means. Anywho, but yeah, he's.
Are you gonna censor that?
He's probably not. It's fine. It is what it is. I don't like to censor myself. really only censor stuff that's like funny, but people would take it out of context or whatever. But that's pretty cool.
Devil's Triangle.
Yeah, we're gonna play some. We gotta get on the Skype and play some Devil's Triangle later. We'll play the little drinking game, you know.
Speaking of which, I have to go to class tomorrow morning.
That's disgusting.
So, you got to keep this probably under 90 minutes.
Under 6 hours. I got it. We'll do that. We'll do our best.
My class sounds pretty informal, but it's still 3 hours. We're going to like a cafe, basically.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but 3 hours, like 3 hours in a cafe, is a long time.
That is. Is it a cat cafe?
It's like that beach cafe, but the weather, I don't think it would be nice.
Is the weather bad down there?
It's been like on and off torrentially raining. It torrentially rained for like 10 minutes a day. Oh shit, I need to plug in my computer. It's going to die.
Interesting. Yeah, the weather here has been not great. It's been moderately cold. I mean, it's been around 19 degrees Celsius for foreign listeners. And it's been rainy. So, I don't know. It hasn't been great, but it's alright. It'll get better soon. Yeah,
it's way worse than here.
Yeah, I mean, and it was warm. It was so hot. It was like almost 30 like last week, so it'll be back up soon. It's alright. We need the rain. The rain is important, so gotta fill up that.
Yeah, the reservoirs.
Reservoir.
Been looking at them posts.
It was
looking at them posts.
It was, last I checked, it was like right around 50%, and then we got a ton of rain, then it got really hot, and then now it's raining again, so I imagine it's okay. It's probably maintaining.
There was an article today about it, but I didn't read it in detail. I think it said it was about 60% full.
That sounds about right. If we get one good typhoon, we'll be fine. That's what we gotta hope on. Just one nice typhoon holiday, we'll be alright. So.
Good luck.
Yeah, I think we'll probably get one. I mean, we got one, like 1.5 last year, so I think we're probably due for a decent sized one, but we'll see. Who knows? How you feeling about this Venezuela stuff, my friend?
What does anything happen there, or are people just talking about it more like something happened?
Oh no, there was basically like a coup attempt that basically just happened. I mean, they're like,
I must have completely missed the news today.
There wasn't like, I don't think there's any like troop on troop violence that I've seen yet, and that this could be changing as we're speaking, but there was like huge like disarray, like people in the streets, people trying to flee, and like basically they were like, there was like videos of like armored cars like driving like through crowded protests, and like I didn't see any evidence of someone getting like hurt, but there very well could have been. I'm trying to like watch all the coverage, and it's so partisan that it's just like hard to parse sometimes. And I was also doing some research on.
You should use MSN News, man. MSN's got everything.
I do, but you know the thing is they have so many things that sometimes it's not focused. And I used it today.
I love it, man. Like, I'm just looking here. I see Washington Post, Reuters, ABC, Chicago Tribune, Hill, CNN, CNBC, AP, USA Today, like all in the same like little area of window. Basically, they've got so many different sources. You could just get whatever you want.
Yeah, they use a lot of sources, but I don't know. I don't necessarily like their layout. Is like sometimes a little frustrating, and they like put everything in news, and it's just like the news is so cluttered with like half of it is just like shit I don't care about and I don't think is important. But I agree with you. I mean, I use them. Like, I scroll through them at least once a day just to get a little like brief on like what the mainstream news thinks is important for the day. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like kind of ridiculous, and like it's really hard because like on Twitter, like a lot of the people that I follow and really like for the Taiwan news stuff are like really against Venezuela, and I think they're like buying into the right-wing propaganda, and I feel like I'm just like kind of stuck in the middle somewhere. So I don't know. I was just wondering what you thought.
I don't see why this is even politicized. I mean, he's obviously, as far as I know, the election was criticized for being flawed at the very least. I don't know anything about this Guido guy other than he claims that he's president.
His name's Guaido, by the way.
Whatever.
But it is
I don't think any Guido should be president.
Especially not of Venezuela. I mean, jeez. Yeah, great. That's a great point. Guido should not be the president of Venezuela.
No offense, Jesse. I think at the very least, they should call for new elections. That should be what happens. I don't know why it needs to move to like a coup, and why. First of all, why Maduro's hanging on to power. If there are accusations that he was tampering with the election, then they need to make calls to hold a new election.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, that's
I agree.
international observation. Otherwise, it's illegitimate from top to bottom. And for the U.S. to come and jump in and claim that somebody else is the president, that's
Absurd. And it fucking
Let's just say dumb.
It's fucking
Let's just
irresponsible, man. But they're doing it on purpose, man. They're fomenting disillusion and fucking unrest in this South American country, which is something the U.S. is quite accustomed to. Because, dude, they have the biggest oil reserves in the fucking world. That is the reason why we are doing this right now. 100%.
I don't think so, and here's why. Because the entire country is essentially controlled by Russia already. So it's not like the United States is going to be like, freedom, and then just like, you know, drive across the border with their tanks and start pumping out the oil. I mean, Russia basically had nukes there stationed recently. It's not going to be, first of all, there's not going to be a transition without a fucking war. They need to call elections and try and get this country back on track.
I agree.
And the United States, whatever the hell the Republicans think is going on, whatever the Democrats think is going on, neither of those things is going to take place. I don't think there's going to be a fall because they're being propped up by the Russians.
I'm not. Yeah, and also in some ways the Chinese, by the way.
I also don't think that the United States is quote unquote fomenting unrest. I think that the country is already a destabilized shithole. Like, it doesn't take much to get a whole bunch of fucking starving people with like 5,000% inflation to come out and protest, you know, when they don't have electricity for fucking 8 hours a day.
It's true. That's true. But I think that the U.S. is adding on to that. I'm not saying the U.S. is totally created. I'm not saying people weren't upset before. They certainly were.
The U.S.
People
has
were
made
doing
some dumb moves, but
it's adding to the unrest in the country, whereas they should actually be trying to help. And they've been doing things like trying to send food trucks in, or like aid trucks in, and there's been speculation that it's like underhanded because we've done that shit before. We've sent in quote unquote aid trucks filled with fucking munitions to give to rebel leaders.
I think that's neither here nor there. That has nothing to do with the fact that most of the people, at this point, it looks like they're fairly close to trying to fucking overthrow them. You know,
but
like,
there's still
the food trucks.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
First of all, the United States probably should foment unrest. Like, this is getting to the point of bullshit here. Like, the country is bought and sold by Russia. Like, who cares what we're doing there? The people are unhappy. Like, whatever, we give them a little push.
Yeah, I don't really agree with that foreign policy standpoint, because then anyone else, then you can't complain about when other countries try to meddle in our elections. And when other countries try to foment,
already do.
Exactly, and it's bullshit, and I would come out against it, but it makes you a hypocrite to say it's okay when the U.S. does it. It's not okay. It does. But
there's a huge difference. There's a huge difference between doing it secretly and doing it openly. The United States is doing it openly. There's no question where the U.S. stands on this, and there's no question what the U.S. statements are. When these other countries do it, they're doing it secretly, and they're pretending to be Americans and trying to shift the debate. That's not even close to the same thing.
I will agree with you that there is a difference, but I disagree with both in principle. I think they're both principally the same thing. They're trying to disorientate another country into unrest so you can get to have what you want to happen to have in the country.
Telling another country what they could have and what they should think and what they, you know.
Yeah, giving someone a message is different than actually like creating unrest in the country by like saying that, hey, that's like Russia or China saying, oh, Nancy Pelosi like say 50 of the world's countries, 30 of the world's countries, whatever it is, that have recognized Guaido. Say they come out and they say Speaker Nancy Pelosi is now the president of the United States, and we officially recognize her. What would that do to?
That's
the
a
United
dumb
States?
statement. That's not the United States. That's Mike Pence, and Mike Pence is a fucking retard. He's a retard.
But
Okay?
that's it's the same thing. That's exactly the same thing. It was like something like 30.
It's not
30
the s-
It's like something like 30
It's-
countries in the world have recognized Guaido as the president, and the United States is one of them, and it's irresponsible to do that, I think.
That's probably a bad move. Here's why it's not the same thing. The United States government is democratically elected, okay? And it's made up of a huge group of bodies who are openly discussing like their options and trying to delegitimize an already embattled government that's not popular with its people.
Yeah.
That was illegitimately elected by all standards.
Yeah.
If Russia, a non-democratic country controlled basically by one man, basically oligopoly, turned around and said that Nancy Pelosi was the president, even though there was a democratic election in the United States, that would just be preposterous. It's not the same thing.
But just because something is preposterous doesn't mean that it doesn't have consequences.
Nobody. I mean, it's a joke. It's not a. The only reason that these statements carry any credence that they're saying, "Oh, Guaido should be president," is because the election showed signs of tampering. If that wasn't the case to begin with, then it would just be a meaningless statement. The only reason that it holds credence is because there wasn't a democratic election to begin with.
But
it was tampered with.
Okay, yeah, I get your point on that, but I would say just because something is a credible or an incredible statement does not necessarily mean that it has, one or the other has no effect. I mean, it could still create unrest within a country, even if the statement is completely outlandish. And that doesn't make it.
I disagree with you that
it doesn't make it less irresponsible. Go ahead.
I disagree with you that fomenting unrest is inherently a bad thing. Sometimes unrest. I always disagree with outbreaks of political violence. I think that violence is never and trying to foment violence. But Venezuela has not had any real outbreaks of like mass violence. I don't think that's what's taking place here. I think that.
But I think that's what's
Listen,
on,
I mean,
think
like
that what could be on the horizon, and the U.S. is already talking about potential invasions, which I think is super, super ridiculous, and also incredibly irresponsible.
First of all, it's not going to happen because Russia's there.
Yeah.
Second of all, the United States. First of all, I'm saying second of all. First of all, the United States, the Trump administration, makes 10 irresponsible statements a day.
It's true.
So I don't think anybody takes any of the threat statements they make seriously ever because they're just full of shit. I mean, Donald Trump talks like he's got the biggest stick, but really he's got the biggest baoyu in the world.
Ego. Yes, that's what Ari said in Chinese. Ego. Yeah, I mean, I mostly agree with you. I feel that the way that we're handling this is in super bad taste, and I think it's dangerous.
Okay, how would you handle it?
I would say that I would call for re-elections. I think that's a good point. I think you make a good point. I think that re-election should be called for, and that we should actually send good faith aid instead of doing what the Republicans seem to love to do, which is just make it seem like that some other guy is president and that we should back a coup in the country, like, and speaking like loosely about potentially invading a country. Like, that's all just it's stupid. I understand what they're doing, but I think it's really stupid, and I think it's dangerous. And I think they're doing the same thing with Iran. They're doing the same thing with Iran.
Those
right
are bad
now, and
moves.
It's really bad.
This legitimizing the opposition leader, I don't know, it's complicated because the opposition leader, you need somebody to back, basically. You can't just say, Maduro's out. Who steps in?
I would say you can work with it. You can work with the opposition, but you also need to work with the current leader. And by saying that you might invade and that the other guy who didn't get democratically elected, they're saying Maduro didn't get democratically elected, which very well may be true. And I would say that's why you need a re-election. And I might even agree with you if there was enough evidence to prove that. But when you,
But they're just making
but
preposterous
then
statements.
they're literally backing another candidate, and that's also inherently undemocratic. There was no election for Guaido. He did not win a fucking democratic election by the Venezuelan people. So that's equally absurd. So yeah, I agree with you. Call for new elections, and I think you need to handle this very delicately because people are starving in the country right now, and you need to send aid, and you need to be careful with these sanctions that you're placing on them because the Venezuelan people didn't do shit, and at least they have some semblance of democracy. It's not a great democracy. It's not a pure democracy, but neither is the United States. And I'm not trying to say that the two are equivalent because they're in no way equivalent. But I'm just saying it's not even the same as like a situation like China, where I feel like we should crank up sanctions very high. I think...
so why are you against sanctions with Venezuela? I don't understand.
I'm not totally against all sanctions, but I think they need to be very targeted, is what I would say. And it seems like
give me 1 second, okay?
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all right, and we're back from that commercial break. But yeah, anyway, I don't know if you have anything else to add, but that's just what I just wanted to say. I think both sides are being a little bit ridiculous because I see there's a lot of like super lefties basically like trying to carry water for Maduro, and I think that's also irresponsible. But I think
I agree with you. That is irresponsible. He's essentially an autocrat.
We don't necessarily know, and that's why I think that I think a lot of their hearts are in the right place, and I understand. And I was probably
I don't, man. When your entire population starts protesting, whether or not you legitimately won, you need to probably respond to them and call new elections. That would be the democratic thing to do.
It's true. The thing is it's not the entire population.
Come on, man. There are literally millions of people protesting right now, and they're having rolling blackouts. Like, at the very least, just call for a new election. If you won legitimately, like you'll get more goodwill from that, if anything.
It's true, and I would say again, some of the economic problems there with the rolling blackouts and things like that are because of U.S. sanctions that are crippling the country. But at the same time, at least probably 60% or more of that is because of poor mismanagement by the Venezuelan leadership, which basically put all their eggs in the oil basket. And I think that was that was kind of under Chavez, and I think a lot of that was for decent reasons. Like, he did a lot of social welfare programs, but it was a good intentioned, but it was done in a very poor way.
He's just an idiot, man. He's just a fucking populist. Like,
are you talking about
using the oil?
Who are you talking about, Chavez, or are you talking about Maduro?
It's basically, I mean, Maduro is basically the second iteration. It's the same idiotic policy where they're just, using the oil money to throw money at social programs for the poor, but not actually trying to like build up the capacity of the state at all. Yeah,
that would be my. I mean, I think Chavez did a lot of good things for the country. I mean, I don't think he was a perfect guy, and I don't hold him up as like some god-like political figure like a lot of people do. But I think he did a lot of good things. He had a lot of people on like the radical left who are like college Marxists that I feel like don't totally understand the whole thing. And I'm no Chavez historian either, so like I'm not trying to act like I know a ton about Chavez. But from what I understand, basically like he was very much trying to do the right thing, but basically failed to essentially dig out these deep instilled problems and build like deep infrastructure and like actual like deep like political movement that could last for a long time. Basically just made quick fixes, which is good for the people in the short term. And like, I mean, they definitely did have they grew in literacy, and poverty decreased under his rule. A lot of things, equality, like level of equality increased, quality of life increased, essentially almost up until his death, like in 2012. So these are all really good things. But at the same time, he didn't address the structural problems that, again, ended up leading to what we have now.
Here's why he's a piece of shit. Here's why I think he was a piece of shit. The entire political movement was based around him. It was like a personal cult, like a cult of personality movement, where he got credit for everything good the government did, and everything bad that ever happened to the government was never his responsibility. It was always because of foreign interference by foreign powers. Always this anti-American thing where basically he's creating this bunker mentality from the very beginning, that it's like us against the world, very North Korea-esque. Also, the movements that he made, the improvements that he made in the lives of Venezuelans, barely outstripped the neighbors. I don't think that they were ahead on almost any, even though they had more cash, free fucking cash from all this oil money, their like quality of life indicators are lower than almost every other country in the region.
Are you talking about currently or under Chavez at the time?
Both.
I mean,
just gross mismanagement.
He raised it. He raised it a great deal, is what I say.
Yeah, every country in South America raised over the same period of time, and Venezuela did historically worse than the other countries because it was so grossly mismanaged. He was a fucking idiot who just didn't know how to manage shit. He didn't understand economics, and he certainly didn't understand politics. He wanted to become like a Kim Jong-un, and then he died from being a fat loser, in his 60s.
All right, that's fair. I don't have the numbers for the other countries during this.
Let me look it up.
So but what I would say is that it seemed like he made some good surface level reforms that definitely raised the living status, the quality of life for people, expanded things like access to healthcare, food, housing, education, and
but almost every country in South America did that.
But there's a lot of countries in Central and South America that I don't know. I guess maybe I don't know. I don't have the numbers, or I don't have a lot of South American history on my hands.
Okay, let's
but
look at it.
I would say to one of your other points where he made it about the United States, I agree with you that there's a lot of basically shifting the blame to foreign agitators. But the United States, if you know about what they've done in South America and Central America, during that time period, they were definitely doing some shady shit. So, I mean, we're like, it's somewhat merited. But yeah, I think it was used as like the great boogeyman when it should have just been like, let's be more honest about what's going on. But there's American-backed death squads in South America at this time, so I can kind of
at what time he's been in power? He was. The American interference in South America basically ended around the 2000s, at the very latest. He had a lot of time to improve the country, and I'm comparing Venezuela, Colombia, Guyana. Let's do that. They're all neighboring countries. Let's see. Venezuela is the lowest in terms of education.
What years
health?
What years are you searching?
Right now.
Oh well, that's also different. I'm talking. I was just talking under Chavez.
2018. This is like the first year under Maduro. Okay, not a huge change. And some of these, they don't change that much over time. Venezuela is the lowest ranked for social capital, economic quality, obviously, education.
This is not
health,
what I was. This is not what
safety,
I was. Not what I was
personal
talking
freedom.
About, not what I was talking about though. I was talking about Chavez. I'm not talking about Maduro.
Chavez built the fucking state.
Yeah, but
the modern state.
That's what I'm saying is he did improve a lot of stuff up until about 2012. What I'm saying is I'm agreeing with you in some ways because you said he didn't basically address the underlying issues, and I'm agreeing with you. But I'm saying what he did have some good ideas, and he did lift people out of poverty for a decent amount of time.
What I'm saying is that it's not he that lifted people out of poverty. It's 20th century development that lifted them out of poverty.
So that's what I'm saying. And if you want to compare the numbers, I'm saying compare the numbers under him. Don't compare them under Maduro because I think Maduro hasn't really done anything.
I don't have the ability to do that because the statistics, it's difficult to get. Anyway, I'm just looking at it briefly. But what I'm saying is he built the state up until until 2012, whatever. He hasn't been dead since 2012. When did he die?
He died in 2013.
Are you sure? Is it that long?
Yeah, he died in 2000.
Yeah.
He was president from 1999 to 2013.
Anyway, he essentially built the modern state, and the country completely failed to modernize. It improved, but relative to the other countries in the region, they all improved, and Venezuela improved the slowest, and is still the poorest in almost every single dimension of quality of life.
Yeah, currently I would definitely agree with you. I'm just saying I'm trying to because a lot of people on the right basically say he was basically a vicious dictator, but there's a lot of.
I'm not saying he was vicious. I think he was an idiot.
I know, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying. I'm just trying to get it out there that I'm just saying that he wasn't like a fucking like complete monster. Like he definitely was like looking. He was like grew up poor and like was, you know, probably didn't make the best decisions. But I don't know. I'm not. I'm also again. I'm not saying he's like a great fucking leader. I don't think he's like the. He's not someone I would wear on a fucking t-shirt or something. But anyway, yeah. Basically, it's real fucked in Venezuela right now, and I would just say that the U.S. needs to back off of its military talk and coup talk and just try to be like, all right, we want to go have a sit down, get these people together, have a re-election, make this country more democratic.
Nothing's going to happen in any case. The United States is just posturing because the Russians are already involved, so it's fucking done. I mean, there was never anything to happen in the first place.
But
Maduro is not leaving.
Yeah, I think the posturing is also just stupid, though, and it also makes people understand the...
It's just meaningless. It's meaningless like everything, just like their talk with North Korea.
It has
talk
consequences,
a big game and
though.
do jack shit.
It has consequences, though, I think.
Like what? What's going to happen? Nothing. I mean...
Maybe. We'll see, I guess. But I think talking about war and things like that is dangerous, and we shouldn't do stupid shit like that. Same thing when
Donald Trump learned is that he can threaten nuclear war, and there's absolutely no consequences.
Which is dangerous, because they're... Yeah, I'm one to say that, like, I think that it's probably very unlikely that anything will happen with a lot of that talk, but it's also still not a good idea. And I think it also makes... the U.S. look incredibly stupid and weak, so I'm against that in general. But it's just me. Anywho,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We can talk about this later when maybe more stuff has happened. I also need to do I need to get like more information. It's hard though, because I looked at like a few articles today on it, and it's all really sectarian. Like if it's from the right, it's all like Maduro is like a bloodthirsty dictator that eats children at night, and like some of the centrist people don't really say anything. They're just like, well, this is what the left says, this is what the right says, and then some of like the super left people are just like, I don't know, like Maduro is like, you know, he was elected, so like we got to deal with it, and it's just like, all right, well, I mean, it's kind of hard to parse, I guess, but I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk about this again. Did you see another thing? Do you have anything you want to talk about? That was something I brought up. Do you want to talk about something?
Just the Nads.
Nadler. What do you want to talk about?
Jerry Big Nads Nadler.
No, we already talked about it. I'm good.
Okay. Did you see about the Biden thing? That like kind of got re-upped on? Do you know what I'm talking about? The corruption, the Ukraine thing?
No.
So basically, back in like 2016, Biden like went after not the Ukraine, but there was like a prosecutor, basically like the lead prosecutor in Ukraine, and he said basically he was threatening to like withhold like $1 billion loan to Ukraine if they didn't get rid of the top prosecutor. So the prosecutor had been accused of corruption, and I couldn't really find anything on how credible the accusations were. But he to be fair about it, he had been accused of corruption. But so Hunter Biden, who, if you didn't know, is Joe Biden's son, basically benefited because he's on the board of like an energy company, and so basically that prosecutor at the same time was investigating that company that was basically trying to get like a deal in the country. And now basically like people are bringing it up. I know Trump has like talked about it and stuff, but like I don't know, it's like kind of a weird deal. And like there's not really much resolution, but it's like interesting that it's getting brought back up now.
I don't know anything about that, so I need to do more research.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to
make accurate statements.
Yeah, I need to do more research too, but I just thought it was interesting. I don't really have like a whole thing. I was just wondering if you had heard about it, because like I read at least there's a few articles about it recently. So, but yeah, you should check it out. You can just Google like Biden corruption scandal or something. But anyway, also I learned that Hunter Biden was discharged from the
The Navy reserves.
So, Hunter Biden, who's Joe Biden's son, was discharged from the Navy reserves because he was snorting cocaine.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, he
So you got a dishonorable discharge.
Yep, because he was doing blow. He was doing those fucking sugar boogers. But anyway, yeah, we'll see where that goes. I don't know that that'll have much, but it's just another thing that is going to weigh on Biden's campaign, and another thing for Trump to bring up and be like, what's Trump's
Be like,
nickname? What's Trump's
I
nickname?
fucked my daughter, but your son was doing coke.
I imported my fourth wife from Ukraine, but you know you've got smaller hands than me, and your son is you
The
fired
smallest.
you fired a fucking lead prosecutor to get your son a fucking good deal in Ukraine. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what, folks? There's only one way to resolve this. Arm wrestling.
My hands will
Take
break
out
his
your big,
hands.
strong hands. And just... Ugh.
What was I gonna say?
Well, I mean, Joe Biden
We
has
got a big, strong man here. Big, strong man, Joe Biden. We're gonna get him to take his shirt off and arm wrestle Donald Trump with his other big hands.
And then he's
And
gonna
then he's gonna start crying. Big, strong
cry.
man crying.
he's gonna
He's
cry.
gonna cry like a big baby.
Then I'm gonna hold him. I'm gonna hold him against my chest, and his big, strong tears are gonna roll down my chest.
He's a big, strong man. He's gonna cry into my breasts.
I'm gonna hold him so close.
All right, man. This is getting silly.
That's good. It's good. People like that. All right, you got something to talk about? I got one more.
Go for it.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right. So, essentially, there's been a few pieces that I've seen recently that the DOJ is like trying to completely destroy ACA. Which, I mean, you know, Trump and the Republicans have been trying to destroy the ACA for a long time.
Yeah, I
But
thought the ACA was already dead.
parts of it are dead, but there are parts that are still around.
Which
so,
parts?
I believe the protection for
Head,
pre-existing
shoulders, knees, and toes.
head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Nipples and armpits, and I'll stop there.
Forget you still teach kids.
Yeah, I know all the songs, bro. But basically, there's some parts that are still remaining. Yeah, it's very a skeleton system now, but I think the protection for pre-existing conditions is still around, and there's a few things, like I think you can still remain on your parents' health care until you're 26, which helps a lot of people. But I can give you some... I really just wanted to tell people, like, because I know there are Republicans, like, because we talked about this, I think, on the last podcast or the one before. The two were so close together. But if the ACA, which so many people are against if they hear it called Obamacare, but so many are in for if they hear it called the ACA, I want people to know, like, what they're going to lose if Trump goes through with this. So some quick facts that I looked up today. It was basically, currently we have 28 billion people uninsured, which is disgusting. In the country with the biggest economy on the face of the planet, we should have Medicare for all yesterday, and it's disgusting. And
Probably half of those are illegals.
They're probably illegal.
did you see the clip recently?
That's a joke. No?
There was basically a clip where, like, because they did the first, like, Medicare for all. Basically, they did, like, a hearing. Hearing is the word I'm looking for. They did a hearing on Medicare for all and, like, questioned, like, people. There was, like, people that were, like, basically, basically wheelchair bound, or, like, people who, like, couldn't afford, like, their medicine and stuff, like, came in to talk. And, like, obviously, like, doctors and, like, very well-known, well-knowledged people. And there was, like, Republicans asking ridiculous questions. Like, they were like,
Will illegals be able to use the Medicare for all?
and basically, like, I think he's a doctor, but he was, like, one of the big policy guys there who was like, well, we don't have anything in there that says they couldn't, but actually under the current system that we have, they can go to a hospital and they can still use it for free because that's what got signed into law. I believe it was
Only
under,
for
like,
emergency.
under George Bush, but you can still go in the hospital. They have to treat you.
Well, only for emergencies. If you go in there and they're like, "Oh, you've got, like, you've got cancer," they'll be like, You have insurance? And be like, well, sorry, there's nothing we can do. They'll only do emergency treatment. They don't have to treat any chronic things.
It's true, but this wouldn't change any of those rules. This doesn't say, oh, now all like
But should it?
unregistered aliens should be able to get health care.
What do you
Should
think?
it?
Yeah.
That's a good question. That is
Yeah.
a good question, Ari.
It doesn't work that way in Taiwan.
I would say, for emergency care, yes, keep it the same. For long-term care, no. Maybe you could give. I think you could still do it at like a discounted price or a good price, and help those people. I think we should try to help people as much as we can. But I don't necessarily think that someone should be able to flee over the border just to get health care. Though to be fair,
Ooh,
what?
that's very right wing of you, Jordan.
It's not right wing at all. That's like a barely a centrist position. That's still somewhat left. I don't think there's not anyone who's like serious on the left that's just like, we should let anyone come over the border and get free healthcare whenever they want. Like that's just not like a smart position.
Well, whatever. They'd be like, oh, we'll have a temporary protected status for illegals set up in a couple of years, and anybody who's been here longer than 10 years, can get access to the healthcare plan, and they have to pay taxes, blah 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 blah.
If we could get some sort of like pathway to citizenship, which I'm totally in favor of, then yeah, that's fine.
Wait, so why? Okay, so are you in favor of a pathway to citizenship?
Yes.
For what would the cutoff be? What would the qualifications be?
I don't know. But I'm certainly not in favor of just wantonly like deporting people, that especially people like dreamers and stuff.
There's a very, very wide gap between deporting everybody who's undocumented in the United States and granting citizenship to everyone who's undocumented in the United States.
Yeah, and I don't know where I would make that exact cutoff. I don't have an exact number for you right now. I haven't like sat down and thought that out, I guess.
Hey, where's Abby, speaking of coming with exact information?
What do you think? What do you think she's doing right now?
Napping?
No, brushing her hair, which is what she does between showers and naps. And playing on her phone, of course.
Good times. Abby.
Abby. Ari said Abby, I don't know. She said what?
What's your 10-point plan to make Taiwan great again?
Abby, what's your 10-point plan to make Taiwan great again?
That's the sound she makes.
She said, don't ask me that.
I heard her. Why not?
Why not, Abby? Why not? She says she doesn't have any influence on anyone.
That's the whole point of it, is that she needs to say what should happen.
Abby, that's how we create big ideas in this country. This
Yeah, gosh
beautiful
darn right.
bastion of democracy that we have here is that we think about new ideas and we progress them throughout the society. We
Bring them into the
propagate
mainstream.
throughout. And we bring them in the mainstream. We popularize them, and then later on, then that becomes the mainstream. So what is Abby Dan gonna put forward? World peace. World peace is what she said. That's her great idea.
Oh, I don't even know what to say to something so juvenile.
Alright, Tanchia. Yep. Anywho, yeah, I don't know. A little bit when you're noisy. Yeah, I don't know. Alright, let me bust these facts out. Then we can, if you want to, because I don't think we're going to really debate on destroying the ACA too much. But I want everyone to hear these facts. So, like I said, 28 million uninsured. That's down from 41.3 million before the ACA. So
well, that's because all the illegals self-deported.
That's right, because they're like, we don't want this socialized bullshit.
Yeah, so they went back across the border.
Yeah, and then they're coming back in caravans now because they realized that it was actually a Romney plan. So they're like,
well,
oh.
no, it's because when they were in America, they stole our money by not paying taxes and bought themselves new pickups. Drove them over to Mexico. Now they're coming back to do it all over again.
They took our jibs.
They took our job.
Anyway, so next stat is up to 52 million Americans could lose coverage because of simply pre-existing conditions. So if the pre-existing conditions mandate gets repealed, 52 million more people could lose health coverage. The current market rate for a yearly plan, which is disgusting, no one should have to pay, we should just pay in taxes like every other modern nation, is $3,200 a year. The estimated increase would be around $4,700 a year, though that there are larger estimates that have come out. Also, it will have a large impact on the economy negatively and would increase the federal deficit by an estimated $350 billion over 10 years. So there you go.
Billion.
Billion. So that's what you have to look forward to if the Republicans get rid of the ACA, aka Obamacare. But you know what we could do is we could get a cheaper system called Medicare for All that covers everyone. You could also still have private health insurance because it doesn't make private health insurance illegal. It still allows it. And in addition, like I said, it covers everyone. It makes it free at the point of service. Maybe you raise your taxes a couple $100. That's a lot less than $3,000 that you're paying every year. Not to mention the fact that you're not paying a deductible anymore. So I think it should be pretty cut and dry for people that Medicare for All is like basically the only way to go. And I think anyone that opposes Medicare for All is in the pocket of big business or a silly person, or they're just ignorant. And maybe that's not necessarily that they're like willfully ignorant or that they're a bad person, but you clearly don't understand the numbers. If you're arguing how are we going to pay for Medicare for All, the question is how
I have an idea.
Are we paying for the fucking stupid ass fucking garbage system that we have now? Go ahead, Ari.
It would be difficult because we'd have to get a constitutional convention together.
Difficult but not impossible.
Not impossible. We'd need to revoke the 14th Amendment.
Huh?
And then enslave all the doctors and have them work for free.
I like that. Yeah, that's good. So I think because doctors have milked the system so hard and made so much money over the past years that they owe a debt to society, and therefore should, let's not call them slaves, sorry. Slaves is a tough word. Let's call them indentured servants.
Indentured chattel animals.
Indentured public servants. Doesn't that sound good? They're public servants. That sounds beautiful.
No, it has to be harsh. They need to know their place.
The chattel dejected servant class. We could just call them cucks. The right wing would like that. If we called rich Western doctors like cucks. We were just like, these are the cucks.
Cuck slaves.
Yeah, cuck slaves. They'd be like, fuck yeah. They'd be like,
Fuck yeah.
bringing back slavery. Oh, South will rise again. I think we could get
have
people...
medical plantations all throughout the South.
Jesus. I think we could get people on board for that, though. Honestly. You could probably get, like, a good... Like, the 30% of Trump's base that like, still follows him and supports him all the time, I think you could get them to support that plan. You'd be like, we're going to take these liberal, fucking no-good, California, long hair, hippie having asses, and we're going to make them more fucking slaves. And they'll be like, oh! They'll love it, dude. They'll love it.
I like your sound effects. I like it a lot.
They're just like, Cletus, that boy said they're going to make these doctors slay. That's some good thing. That's some good stuff right there. I love that. Oh. We have to talk about something. I'm just going to keep... I'm
about to pass out.
Oh, come on, man. We're like...
If you got something good to talk about. Yeah, we're an hour in, so we're good. We already got the hour.
An hour is short, man. And once we cut it down, it's good because there's a few pauses in there.
That's true. I got nothing. I got no other topics here, honestly. Veganism. We can talk about veganism.
Yeah, let's do a quick chat on veganism, then we can cut it off.
Okay, how's it going?
It's been pretty good, man. I mean,
do you feel hungry like Abby, being a fucking whiner?
Honestly, sometimes, but I literally always carry fruit and vegetables with me. Like I told you, like
that's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Tupperware dish filled with usually tomatoes, an apple, and then one other like an orange or a pear or a grapefruit or something.
You already got the whole system down. You're already completely prepared. You need to teach Abby how to do that.
I mean, even before I was like doing that, I was basically like carrying around that stuff because I was trying to cut out like unhealthy snacking in my life, because that's just
the 7 sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly. 7 sandwiches.
Yeah,
and like
7 sandwiches.
7 sandwiches. But sorry,
exactly.
I don't know why I'm doing so many voices today, but yeah, like those sorts of snack foods are like eating jipai at like, you know, at nighttime, because it's just like, oh, I don't have anything in the house. And also Taiwan has so many fruit stands and fruit markets that it's just like, it's so easy to just be like, all right, I'm just gonna go to the fruit market. And so like they make fun of me at one of my schools, because they'll just be like I'll eat like whole carrots and stuff in class, and they call me Teacher Rabbit, or like all kinds of weird stuff. They're like, because I also wear flip-flops all the time because I'm mad Tai Ke. And so
what school can you wear flip-flops?
Long time. I don't wear them in class. No, not in class. But until I go into that class, like until like maybe 20 or 30 minutes before class, I'll wear flip-flops. I don't care. And they'll call me.
I used to wear flip-flops into the class and then change it once I got in the room.
I do that if it's raining sometimes, but like I don't do it all the time. But yeah, like they joke about it, but they don't really care. Like they're not going to do anything to me. Like they don't have any authority to like tell me what to do. I could wear flip-flops.
They can't tell me shit.
They're not my boss. But they don't care also, because they know like I've been here long enough. I know what I'm doing. Unlike a lot of, never mind. Anywho, so yeah, like they call me, like they'll be like, "Are you like an uncle or something? Like you just like do you come here to like work, or you come here to go shopping?" Because like I always come back like after I sign into school and eat, then I'll go buy like groceries from the traditional market. And just like it's so ridiculous. I walk in with like 2 handfuls of like fruits and vegetables. But yeah, man, I've been doing that for like the past month or two, because I was just like, all right, I gotta eat at least a little bit healthier. So this hasn't been like a huge transformation for me. It's just like ordering things. Like I ordered those noodles today, and they like try to put like intestines and stuff in it. I was like,
oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was just like, I was like, no, like they were like, it has. I was like, I want it vegetarian. I was like, well, 素的，我要没有肉. That's what. Oh, okay, I can do that. She's like, but it has green onions and intestines. And I was like, I don't give a fuck about some green onions, but yeah, the intestines are a little fucked up. Like, can you not put those in there? And like, personally, I don't mind eating intestine. Like, I don't mind eating like internal organs. Like, I ate chicken hearts the other day before we started the vegan shit. Because like I don't mind eating internal organs, but
it's not shit, Jordan.
If I ask for fucking I asked for vegetarian because like there's no egg or anything in it. I was like, can I have vegetarian? And they were just like, yeah, but it has like internal organs. And I was like, well, that's not vegetarian. Like, sorry to burst your bubble here.
It's not dumb, man.
Overall,
that's why it's good to eat at home.
Bad,
I eat at home almost every meal. So does Danny, man.
Man, Taiwanese food is so good though. Like, I love eating out.
I like eating out too, but I just do it sometimes because it's just, I love my own cooking too, man.
I love my own cooking too. Just the thing is, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, but staying healthy, it's important.
That's definitely true. I mean, now that I have the hot plate, like I'm gonna make some more stews, and now that I have a refrigerator too, so I can make those stews and then put them in the refrigerator. Yeah.
Ooh.
It was a good decision. I didn't buy I bought like a big mini fridge, basically.
How'd you get it over there? PC Home?
Yeah, I bought it on PC Home. They
Shit, man.
shipped it over, man. PC Home will sell you basically anything. So it was great. Like I ordered it. It was weird though. Like they called me so many times. I was like, they would call me and be like, so you need to sign for this, or you can leave it with like the Guanli. And I was like, yeah, just leave it with that guy like every other fucking package I get. Like no one's gonna steal my fucking refrigerator at my apartment complex. And they called me like 3 times asking me about this. They called me twice and texted me once. I told him every time. I was like, just leave it with the desk. Like, leave it with the front desk. It's fine. I promise you it will be fine. And then the last time, right when the guy was, like, delivering it, he called me. He was like, asking me all these questions, like, really fast in Chinese. And I was like, yeah. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? And then he was like, I knew he was talking about our fridge. And I was like, he was like, I'm going to be there soon. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, you need to tell me. And I was just like, he was like, do you want me to leave with the front desk? And I was like, yes. Like, I've told these people, like, fucking 3 times. Like, just leave it with the desk. He's like, okay, thanks, bye. And I was like, okay, cool. And then it was with the desk, and I came and picked it up, like, 6 hours later. I was like, it's fucking fine. But, yeah, it's good to have a refrigerator.
They were really worried about it.
They seem to be very concerned about the status of my fridge. I don't know what the deal was, but it's all right. I got it. It's in my room now. It's like one of the most energy efficient fridges you can have. So
energy efficient.
It's got ice too. So like when I made that smoothie tonight, I threw some ice in there. It's good, man. Smoothies are the bomb.com. You got to get on them.
Yeah, I've just been buying fruit juice because like I get fruit flies, man.
That's why you do not have a fridge.
What I mean, I keep the fruit outside, but once it's trash, once I peel off the skins and stuff, then the fruit flies come to the trash, not the fruit itself.
Yeah, that's fair, but you can cover you get a lid for your trash can. I'm on the 9th floor, so I don't really get too many bugs. I get a few every.
I'm on the 2nd floor, so I get a lot of bugs and a lot of dust.
I get mosquitoes, but that's pretty much it. I've had like one cockroach in my apartment and like a couple other like weird random bugs, but it's pretty infrequent. And I try to cover up, like close my trap. Like
I get lizards even.
Oh, lizards are sick, dude. I wish I had some lizards in my apartment. I fucking love them, dude. I had a spider in my house the other day, but not a Laya, the big one. I had like a daddy long leg. I let it go outside, but I get like random bugs like a couple times a month, but it's not bad at all. So I don't really have to worry about it. But I keep all the fruit in the fridge now, so I don't even have to worry about that shit either. And the other stuff I have is like all dry goods. It's like crackers and shit that I use for the hummus.
For me, it's the garbage they go after, man.
You just gotta close it up, man.
Yeah, it's true. But even before, I remember in the old apartment, we would cover it up and they'd just be waiting outside.
Yeah, our old apartment was... Dude, that place was crazy, man. I never realized how bad that place... Like, it was a beautiful apartment, and I loved living there, and especially, like, living with you and Jesse, but, like, I like, the mold in that place and, like, everything was just so bad, and I still, to this day, do not understand why it was so bad. We had so many cockroaches, so many fruit flies. Like, the cockroaches weren't that bad, but the fucking fruit flies were insane. And the amount of mold that we had in that place was incredible compared to my place now. And I'm almost as high, like I'm on the 9th floor, like I'm pretty high up.
Yeah, I don't understand that mold. But I didn't have the mold in my room. You guys had significant mold in your room. I had more mold.
And in the living room too. The living room was bad. The back of that TV stand was terrible.
I don't know, man.
It's strange.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either, but hey, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. And now we out that place, so it's okay. My new place is much better in terms of those things. It's not as nice and shiny, but it's pretty good. Shiny. But yeah, all right.
Yeah, when you have time, man, come check out my place here.
Yeah, I would like to see it. I would like to see what it's like. What it do? I want to see what it do.
It's nice. I could fit a bunch of people in here easily because I got the 2 sofas. I got the big banging bed.
Yeah.
I mean banging as in really great.
I know what you mean. I know what you meant.
I didn't mean that in an inappropriate way.
It's banging, dude. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You mean it's fresh. I get you. It's just funny. It's puntacular. Puntastic.
Puntacular.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Also, are we going to do a podcast this weekend?
We'll see. I got a long weekend. I don't have class tomorrow, and I don't have class on Monday, but I got class on Saturday.
Why?
So basically, from Saturday afternoon to Tuesday morning, I've got nothing. But if you guys are busy all weekend, then I'm not going to come this weekend.
Yeah, I kind of have a little bit more free schedule, but Abby won't, and I still have classes.
You said you'll have an extra hour.
No. I'll have an extra... Let me see. Maybe 3 hours. I have an extra like 3 hours because I get out of work on Saturday. I get out at 4 instead of I would normally get back at like maybe 2 hours, basically. Normally I would get back about 5, and I'll get back. No. Normally I would get back about 7 or 8, and I'll probably get back about 5 this week.
Yeah, I'll probably wait for a time when you guys have like a good amount of time to hang out.
Well, if we can pick a time when Abby's more free, I can probably take off some time. But we also gotta get Abby on a podcast sometime soon.
Yeah, what is she doing? Is she still brushing her fucking hair?
No.
She's sleeping,
Yep.
Isn't she?
Yep. It's disgusting, and everyone needs to get on her about this. It's unprofessional, and
It's very unprofessional.
there are essentially no words for this.
If you want to be in the crew, you gotta put in your work. I got fucking shit. I gotta be in class tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. and it's right now almost 2 a.m. And look at me. I'm doing what I need to do.
Hey, yeah, look at us both. I gotta wake up like 10 o'clock tomorrow, go to class. I did a bunch of research today, and yeah.
Research.
I was just like researching news stories and like taking notes and stuff, but
I think we gotta start writing more articles in shitty Chinese, and then Abby can just edit it, or somebody can edit it.
that's probably not a terrible idea. I mean,
We can get some Taiwanese people to read that shit. Then get some Taiwanese fans.
we can also. All right, this week I'll try to make it my. This week, meaning like the end of this week and next week, I'll make it my mission. Maybe this weekend, since you're going to be pretty busy.
This weekend I won't be.
Oh,
busy.
you're
This
not.
weekend I got nothing.
I thought you said class on Saturday.
Maybe I'll go camping. Maybe I'll do something like that.
Well, if you have time for a podcast, I can try to get one of my Taiwanese friends on the podcast. We can have a good little discussion.
No guarantees, but maybe I can squeeze it.
All right, we'll talk about it. But if any of our listeners are Taiwanese and want to come on the podcast and or want to write articles for the Free China Post, let us know, because we need more Taiwanese input. I want to know what Taiwanese people are thinking, and I do. I mean, I talk to a lot of Taiwanese people, but it's better to have their actual voices on the podcast than for me to say, this is what my Taiwanese friend says, so we'll see. We can feel it out, but yeah, we should. Even if you don't join, I'll try to get maybe one of my Taiwanese friends or a couple of my Taiwanese friends to join in on the podcast. We'll do a little Chinese language pod.
All right.
But I have the other 2 pods already not uploaded, but I have one edited with drops inserted, and I have one edited without the drops inserted, so I just have to figure out when to release them. Thinking
Dropped.
probably release one tomorrow and one the weekend, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Think about it. Have you listened to the most recent one?
I'm on 33, I think, right now. 30. I don't know which one I'm on right now. I was listening to today, but then my headphones died, so I had to stop.
You're not on 30. You must be on 32 then, because 33 is the most recent one. So.
Yeah, maybe 32.
Or not. 33 is not the most recent one. 34 is the most recent one. We're doing 35 right now. So.
I listened to the one after your parents.
That would be 31. You can always know my.
Your parents is.
You can always know my parents' ones because they're always even numbers, or I mean tens. They're always tens.
I thought it was 30.
Yeah, it's 30. It's tens. They did 10.
I mean 31.
Oh. No. But I don't know. Well, okay. Yes, maybe in your mind, because we did like a one before that was like the unrecorded episode that I don't know if I uploaded or not, but I have to look into that. That's a good question. But anyway, the one with my parents is officially 30. I posted it as 30 because they do all the 30s. All right, we'll talk about it. I can let you go though, since you got class so early.
Yeah, if there's anything else to talk about, we can talk. But if not, then
I don't have like a specific news story off the top of my head, though I would like to talk longer. I can't think of anything in particular. I mean, just the normal like Terry Goal sucks, fuck Han Guoyu.
高雄发大财.
But I mean, oh, okay. Here's one thing that I was wondering if you heard about. Apparently, Gold Timing owns stock in Nantaoyuan. Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw that shit.
It's fucked up, man. I have Nantaoyuan. I don't want to fucking pay for that shit anymore. But I have to have internet. You know?
Yeah. No choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Foxconn is obviously like a super fucked up company. I don't know how Nantaoyuan is, but Foxconn is terrible. Like, they have suicide nets in China. But, I don't know. I'm going to use his... Maybe that's why my internet was fucked up, because I was talking mad shit about him on Twitter. Everyone, don't forget to go follow our Twitter at FreeChinaPost. So, join me in the fight against fucking disgusting capitalist pigs. Anywho's will be... Our Twitter is about to break a big number for us, so please go follow. Oh, and join our Merciful Mastication May on Facebook.
Yes.
We need people to go out and do that. Like, it's really... I mean, I don't know. In the U.S., I feel like in the U.S. I could have done it too. Maybe in some ways it would have been a little difficult, but actually the U.S. is, like, getting a lot of support recently for vegans and stuff, and, like, Taiwan seems to... If you're in Taiwan, you're Taiwanese or a foreigner in Taiwan, like, it seems to be pretty doable. Like, I mean, I'm only 2 days in, but I like really haven't noticed that much. I mean, there's little changes that I have to make. I have to ask someone to not put meat in it or something like that, but for the most part, it has been pretty minor change for me.
It's not that bad, but you also... It sounds like you're already ahead of the game. You know about, like, the snacking thing. Because these little hunger things, because you can... I mean, sometimes you'll feel hungry when you're not used to, like...
Yeah.
Eating certain groups of foods,
Yep.
or whether you're used to eating, like, whatever. You know, maybe you're used to eating noodles, or you're used to eating rice with meat, and now you can't eat that anymore, so you're eating something else, and you feel hungry, but you're filling in with something else, so...
Well, yeah, and part of it is, I mean, like, you can eat so much more when you eat fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, that's true, but, yeah, not everyone has access to them.
It's true, but in Taiwan, if you're in Taiwan, you definitely do. In America... you definitely need to be you definitely have to think about it more, and I would refer you to resources like just Google like how to be a vegan wherever you live, or you can download my dad's app, which actually has like not like shameless plug for my dad's app, but it's called Four-Eyed Plant Eater, and I think it's on the Apple Store, but it's definitely on Android on the what is that called? Google Play Store. So if you need some, like, if you cook at home, it has a ton of recipes and links, and if you eat out, it has like good nutritional guides for what can, you know, fill you up, and like is moderately cheap. Yeah, I think the vegan diet has been undeservedly smeared as like a bougie thing or like a rich people thing, and I think in some ways that is like, yeah, I understand that, because there are people in America who live in food deserts that just don't have access to a lot of stuff. But for the vast majority of people, and also if you know how to shop in a lot of ways, it can be quite affordable. Like, I mean, meat can be quite expensive in a lot of cases, and if you get things that are, you can still eat terribly on a vegan diet, but you can make it happen pretty big, especially in Taiwan, I would say. I've never eaten vegan outside of my parents' home in America, but it's definitely doable, and just depends on how you shop and what you're looking for, and also your location. So, you know, if you can't go full vegan, try to do vegetarian or try to cut back on meat. But right now we're doing the whole vegan thing right now, and I'm feeling good. I mean, I don't know if I have enough time under my belt as eating full vegan to say like it's because of veganism that I feel good, but I feel pretty good right now. So maybe after a few days we can do a little chat with some of the other people doing it, because I saw one of the Taiwanese listeners posting some lobogao, and got a couple other people. My sister, I can talk to my sister too.
Yeah, those are more people I'm bringing on board.
It's good, man. It's good. People are trying it, man. And even if you slip up, you make mistakes, like, it's very possible that in the next, I mean, we have 2 days down, so we have 29 days to go. It's very possible that in the next 29 days I eat a piece of meat on accident, or maybe even on purpose, because someone offers it to me. But, you know, it is what it is, and you roll with the punches, but you do your best, and you try to abstain from it as much as possible. And right now I'm looking at trying to eat 0 total for the whole 31 days and see where that takes me.
Exactly. That's the perfect attitude. That's the absolute perfect attitude.
You got to put in your work, but you got to not beat yourself up too much for little fuck ups. Because if you let, I don't know, it's like anything else, man. It's like if you're learning to do like some new skill. Like if I was learning to play guitar and I have some trouble playing some certain note, and it's like, wow, I keep fucking this up, and I'm just like, fuck it, I give up. Then like you're not gonna learn that shit. You're not gonna get better at that shit. You're not gonna improve. Not that I'm gonna improve the world with my guitar playing, because it's shit, but like with the veganism, like you clearly make an impact, a positive one on the world. If you eat less meat, you're contributing much less CO2 to the environment. You're also making yourself healthier. If you want to look at it from a Ayn Randian self-importance standpoint, like self-interest, then you're making your own body healthier, almost demonstrably so by eating vegan, or at least as close to it as you can.
True. Facts
over feelings. That's all we have on this podcast, Ben Shapiro style. Also, fuck Ben Shapiro.
Right. No. No, but this is I agree, but the problem is that if you're going to make, this is another issue.
Why?
He's a fucking bitch.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
All right. I'll let you go. I don't have anything else to add than that, but everyone get on the Merciful Mastication May. If you don't know where to find it, DM me either on my personal account or on the Free China Post stuff. You can also email us at social at freechinapost.com. So social at freechinapost.com. You can I'll be the one that picks that up almost certainly. But yeah, any of either Ari or I's personal accounts, if you know us personally, or any of our social media accounts or our email. But we'll definitely get back at you fast. I'm on that shit every day. And I know Ari, are you still banned from Twitter?
I haven't even tried, honestly.
You should get back on there, but take it slow. Just retweet some of the stuff that I say. But anyway.
Yeah, I need to stop trolling. It was fun while it lasted, but
if you want to troll, just make like another separate account. But you should make an account, maybe make a new account as for like your writing, and you can share it. Be like, this is a piece I recently published in the Free China Post. You can be like one of those like New York Times like contributors that like is all like high and mighty. Just be like, I recently wrote a post about smelling your own farts in the New York Times, and I think it's pretty great. I think everyone should retweet this. It's pretty good.
I'm not a fucking New York Times fruit cup.
Well, do whatever you want.
Just be
like, what's up, bitch? I wrote this fucking post for the Free China Post, and it's the shit. I don't know. Do whatever you want. Feel you, but you should have like a writer's account and then a troll account, which is the best.
I'll think about it. I'll think about even re-downloading the app. I just deleted the app, man. I was so upset when this guy pretends to be like an American patriot, and then he's trashing the American flag. He's like, red, white, and stupid, and then he retweets red, white, and stupid like 80 fucking times, and then I get banned.
He's a gargoyle, and he did that same thing to me. He basically said like some of the dumbest things imaginable, and literally had no facts. I every time I would say something that he couldn't refute, he would just say false, 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 and then I would say, so what do you think? What's your opinion? And he'd be like, I just don't think that's true. And I'd be like, no. So what are your facts? Like, what facts do you have? And then he would be like, he would retweet something I said before, and he would just send it 5-6 times. And I was like, okay, so you're just like those people. It's just like, okay, that's when you hop on the troll account and you're just like, what's up, you fucking piece of shit? Like, you're the dumbest fucking person I've ever met on the internet.
Did you see the shit I said to him? Like, I tore into him. That's why he reported me. His profile is like, once I start something, I never quit. That's like what it says on his fucking Twitter profile. And like 3 tweets down the line, and he's fucking begging, Papa Jack Dorsey to fucking ban me.
Oh, please, Jack, may I
This
have
guy's
a ban?
harassing me.
Please, may I have a ban?
That's actually what that's like a strategy on Twitter. Like, I had some, I won't mention their name, but like I had people in my that I retweet frequently because I think they have very spot on things on China, and I was talking to them before about like he like backed me up on an argument with this like China troll basically, so Wu Maodong, and basically we like kind of shut him down, but we did so in like a pretty legitimate way where like we weren't in any danger of being like getting reported or anything. And he basically emailed me, he was like, my strategy with like these China trolls, because this is what they do, is like basically to goat them into like doing like ad hominem attacks and then reporting them. And like I don't know, I don't really like reporting people in general, because I think these places should be like free speech bastions where you should be able to say whatever you want. Personally,
if you think that Twitter is a free speech bastion,
it's not.
I've got news for you.
I said I think that's what they should be idealistically.
If that's what you think, Jordan, then you need to start your own platform.
Well, see, I'm not a programmer. I don't know how to do.
Well, then you should ask Will and start a platform with him.
I would be down, man. I wish there was, because I think that's what they should all be. I think Facebook and Twitter and all of these should. I think first of all they should be treated like the telecoms, and they should be regulated like telecoms, and because they're essentially like the public square now, and they should be regulated just like free speech. The only way you should be get taken down is if you do direct threats of violence, if you do libel or slander. I think those should be.
It doesn't really matter, man. All these, they're all dead soon anyways. Facebook is on the way out. Like,
no, Twitter is still like Twitter. People love Twitter, and Facebook is still like incredibly popular. I mean, boomers love that shit.
When I say dead, I mean like in terms of being cool.
I mean that, yeah, but it doesn't mean that doesn't mean they're not useful. They're not useful tools.
When's the last time you changed your profile picture on Twitter, Jordan?
For me or for the FreeChinaPost?
For you.
A long time ago, because I don't care. Probably like 2 years.
Exactly.
Probably 2 years.
Exactly.
Ago.
The fact that you said I don't care, you said it all right there.
Because that's not the point of Twitter. I still like Twitter. I still like using Twitter, but the point of it is not to have a cool profile pic. It's not a fucking dating. It's not Tinder.
No, on Facebook.
On Facebook, more recently than 2 years ago, but not super recently. But I still use Facebook quite a bit. I use Facebook daily. I mean, it's so integrated with our lives that I think it's going to be a lot harder to get
I think we use it more now that we got a chat group. So
I mean, some of that is on Messenger, but I also use the actual Facebook app every day too, because I share a lot of stuff. Like I share both on our.
I don't even have the app. I just use it on the browser so it can't spy on me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really do anything on my thing that could spy on me, but yeah, I agree that that's bullshit. They shouldn't do any of that. And that's another thing that should be regulated. They should be regulated like a public utility. They shouldn't be able to steal your data, and they also shouldn't be able to, like, suppress you because of your free speech. I should be able to go on there and call some fucking piece of shit communist fucking Chinese traitor what they fucking are, and I shouldn't be banned for that.
That's what I did.
What they can do is they can fucking block me.
I said, burn in hell, commie traitor. That's exactly what I said.
And you should be able to say that. You should be able to say that to anyone.
Yeah, he's like, oh my gosh, she's suppressing my rights as a communist. I'm just trying to betray my country and my people here. Like, why are you being so sensitive?
Exactly. And that's why I think it should be regulated like a public utility. And we should say, okay, you're allowed to say that. And he doesn't have to like it, and he can block you. He can mute you. But if someone said that shit to me, I would probably just ignore them. If I didn't think that they were right. But clearly he thought you got his goat, and he thought you were right, and he thought you were onto something, so he blocked you. He fucking reported you.
Yeah, he's a fucking communist.
Yeah.
He's a fucking communist troll pretending to be a fucking Trump. I looked at all the people that he follows and that follow him. They're all like basically like half of them don't look like real accounts.
They're probably not, because they're probably fucking communist troll Twitter accounts.
No, most of them are just like Trumpy and shit. He's got like a persona going on here. His posts are nonsense, so I don't know who legitimately would follow him. A lot of them were just like weird shit. So he got really pissed.
Yeah, you can, if you follow certain accounts, they'll follow you back, or people will follow you. It's like Instagram. People follow for follows.
Yeah, Instagram is weird because I've been getting on some of these algorithms. I can see like there's some days where I'll get like 8 new followers, and then the next day they'll all be gone.
Yeah, people will.
Because like
yeah, they'll follow. Some of them are like they're not bot accounts, but they have bots.
They are. I mean, they're. Yeah, exactly. Because I installed these bots before to test with test accounts basically, and it'll just randomly like follow like 50 people a day, hoping they'll follow back, and then delete those same 50 people.
Yeah, exactly. And I've
so never follow back like a stranger. That's the advice to anyone.
Unless they have really cool stuff that you're actually interested in following. But yeah, it happens on Twitter, but to a lot smaller degree. I've noticed. Like most of the people that follow me keep following me. I mean, when I first started, there would be people like I would get like multiple follows on certain hashtags, and if you hashtag more, I think it's true for Instagram and for Twitter. They'll definitely tweet stuff at you, but like, or they'll follow you, or they'll tweet back at you with something, and you can tell if they're bot accounts if they tweet back at you because it's nonsense. But it doesn't happen much on Twitter. It happens the most on Instagram, which I hear a lot of people are like, I love Instagram because it's like so unpolitical. Like I can just post my selfies.
It's just fucking corporate is what it is, man. It's all advertisements now, and like people trying to sell shit through there.
That's why I don't use Instagram. Like it's cool. Yeah, photography is cool, but like I do my own photography. I don't need to see other people's photography that much. Like I see enough of it on Twitter and the once a week when I get on Instagram. Stories are kind of cool, but like now everywhere has like Facebook has stories now too. So, and a lot of people's stories are fucking dumb. It's like, oh, I got some Starbucks. Super good. Double espresso shot. My God. Good talk, Ari. You need to go to bed, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's your bedtime, little boy.
It is my bedtime.
Alright, I'll let you go then. We talked longer than I thought we would, which is a victory for me.
Oh yeah, shit, it's like an hour and 40 minutes. Alright. See ya, man.
Alright, buddy, I'll talk to you soon. I love you, man.
You too, man.
Love all you listeners out there. We'll talk to you soon.